Picture this: Taylor Swift striding into the hallowed halls of the Michelin star gala, apron in hand, facing a room of the world's most famed chefs, only to be met with smirks and sideways glances. "What's the singer doing here?" they whispered. But when Taylor unveiled her humble clay pot creation, every legendary palate bowed down in reverence. Here's the deliciously unexpected tale of how she turned mockery into culinary mastery. The grand ballroom of the Hotel de la Gastronomie glowed under crystal chandeliers as Michelin's annual gala commenced. Chefs in pristine whites and starched jackets exchanged nods of respect. On center stage, the Golden Trident Award awaited its next winner, an honor bestowed only once every year to revolutionary talent. Unannounced, Taylor Swift entered from a side door, carrying an unassuming clay pot wrapped in a linen cloth. Her invitation was a surprise, a rising trend of celebrity chef crossovers, orchestrated by the Michelin Committee to spotlight fresh voices. But the veteran chefs, whose reputations were carved by decades of toil, scoffed at the idea of a pop star turning cook. As Taylor joined the line of finalists, Chef Henri Beaumont, a 3 Michelin star icon, leaned over and whispered, "A singer? Save your clay pot for your kitchen, sweetheart." Laughter rippled through the room. Taylor's cheeks flushed, but she stood tall, determined to let her cooking speak. Behind the scenes, Taylor's journey had been anything but glamorous. Months earlier, after a sold-out world tour, she enrolled in an intensive culinary program in Provence. There, she fell in love with traditional clay pot cooking, the ancient art of slow braising ingredients sealed within porous terracotta to infuse each bite with rich depth. Taylor spent early mornings visiting local markets, chatting with farmers about heirloom tomatoes and wild herbs. Evenings found her in a sunlit courtyard, perfecting her grandmother's recipe. Braised lamb shanks simmered in a wine-reduction gravy, layered with caramelized onions, root vegetables, and a dash of lavender. Each test batch taught her patience, learning when to raise a lid, when to stir, and when to let the pot rest. Back in her private chateau kitchen, Taylor dubbed the dish Swift Sunset Stew, honoring the golden hour lighting that danced across her clay pot at dusk. She knew it was simple, but she trusted its heart and heritage to win over even the toughest critics. When the gala's judges called for the final presentations, Taylor stepped forward, her clay pot emanating warm, aromatic steam. The first course, delivered by a molecular gastronomy wunderkind, dazzled with edible foam. The next, by a Nordic minimalism champion, impressed with foraged mushrooms and wild seaweed. Then it was Taylor's turn. She removed the linen wrap to reveal her snug, earthenware pot. With a flourish, she lifted the lid, and a wave of fragrant warmth swept across the room. Notes of rosemary, slow caramelized onion, tender lamb, and a hint of lavender. She spooned the glossy stew into delicate porcelain bowls and presented them to the panel. Chef Isabella Martinez, Chef Hiroshi Takeda, and Chef Beaumont himself. The chefs exchanged raised eyebrows and polite nods, still unsure what a pop star could teach them. But when Chef Martinez tasted her first spoonful, the corners of her mouth softened. Chef Takeda closed his eyes, inhaling deeply. Beaumont followed suit, his rigid posture melting into a moment of genuine appreciation. In that hush, Taylor realized her cooking had bridged worlds. Silence lingered for a heartbeat, then applause erupted. Beaumont stood and extended his hand. "Bravo, Miss Swift," he said, voice thick with respect. "Your clay pot dish carries the soul of tradition and the courage to be unpretentious. You have my highest praise." One by one, the other chefs rose to their feet, offering bows, smiles, and even tears of joy. The gala's host, Michelin director Laure Dupont, presented Taylor with a special Rising Star Award and a commemorative terracotta trident plaque, honoring her fusion of pop culture accessibility with classical technique. Reporters snapped photos as Taylor accepted her honors, her smile radiant. In that moment, the world saw her not just as a musician, but as a culinary pioneer who reminded legends that greatness need not be ornate. It can thrive in simplicity, passion, and a humble clay pot. In the weeks that followed, Swift Sunset Stew became a sensation. Renowned restaurants added variations of her recipe. Home cooks shared their own clay pot creations on social media under the hashtag #ClayPotRevolution. Taylor published a mini cookbook featuring her Provençal adventures, donating proceeds to culinary scholarships. Most importantly, the Michelin community embraced her collaboration as a turning point, proof that innovation often springs from unexpected places. Chef Beaumont invited Taylor to co-host a special episode of MasterChefs of the World, and Chef Martinez brought her on stage at Paris's famed Fête de la Gastronomie. Taylor's triumph at the Michelin Gala proved that true mastery isn't measured by complexity, but by heart. A simple clay pot, infused with slow love and cultural heritage, had shattered elitist walls and united culinary legends in admiration. If Taylor's clay pot conquest inspired you, hit like, subscribe for more deliciously dramatic stories, and ring the bell so you never miss a serving of unexpected triumph.